Shalom. A few days ago, Israeli lawmakers initiated a debate whether or not to officially acknowledge and perhaps even commemorate the Armenian Genocide, the slaughter of 1.5 million Armenians by Turkish forces between the years 1915 and 1920. For almost a century, in spite of considerable evidence to the contrary, the Turkish government has steadfastly denied any role in the demise of almost two-thirds of the Armenian period during that period, saying that the Armenian casualties were the kind of tragic but unavoidable collateral damage that happens during any war. And for years, Armenians have sought an official acknowledgement, simply an acknowledgement and perhaps even an apology from the Turkish government for what happened to them during World War I. The Turkish government has resisted even a simple and fair and objective review of the historical evidence. Yet, 15 countries in the world today officially recognize and acknowledge the Armenian Genocide. It's against the law in Switzerland and in the country of Slovenia to deny that the Armenian Genocide took place. The French Parliament is considering similar legislation. You might have thought that Israel, built on the ashes of the Holocaust, would have been one of the first countries to publicly and officially acknowledge the Armenian Genocide, perhaps even setting aside one day a year to commemorate it. We Jews know firsthand what it means to be targeted for destruction. And so Jews, both in Israel and in the diaspora, for a number of decades now, have called upon Israel, the Israeli government in particular, to acknowledge the Armenian Genocide and to call on Turkey to come clean and to take responsibility for what happened to the Armenians all those many years ago. However, Israel, in deference to the Turks, who for years were Israel's only Muslim ally, avoided the Armenian issue. Israel's need to survive and its desire to do the right thing were in conflict with each other. Why upset our only Muslim ally, our only friend in the Mideast, so thought the Israeli leaders? There are other historical reasons why Jews have not taken a stand on this issue. Reasons of which I was reminded in 1990 when I was a participant in a joint Jewish-Armenian dialogue program in the city of Philadelphia. This is the plaque that the Armenian community of Philadelphia gave me for participating in that program. It is a plaque that commemorates the 75th year, the 75th anniversary of the beginning of the Armenian Genocide. And it says, we shall not forget. The Armenians use that slogan, we shall not forget. And that's reminiscent of some of the slogans that we use in the Jewish community with regard to the Holocaust. Zachor, remember, and never again. Similar phrases. And we got our congregations together. I spoke at an Armenian church about the genocide. An Armenian Orthodox priest spoke at my synagogue, and there was quite a bit of publicity that came out of this program. We had some very elderly people from the Armenian community who had survived the genocide come and meet with survivors of the Holocaust in my congregation. Now, because I publicly acknowledged the genocide, I received angry letters from all over the United States reminding me not only of Turkey's special relationship with Israel, but also of the fact that the Turks were one of the few countries that took in thousands of Jews after the Spanish Inquisition during the early part of the 16th century. And I was reminded in no uncertain terms the Jews had prospered and thrived in Turkey for many centuries after. What a dilemma. What a dilemma we Jews have faced, and particularly the Jews of Israel have faced over the last few years. Having to choose between showing empathy to a group who suffered as we Jews have suffered, and potentially alienating a valuable ally of Israel, or remaining silent in the face of a great injustice. But that seems to be changing. The geopolitics of the Middle East are shifting these days. Recently, relations between Israel and Turkey have greatly deteriorated. Israel feels betrayed by Turkey on many levels and for many reasons. One reason is that ships with Turkish registry have tried breaking the blockade of Gaza, a blockade designed to keep rocket-making material out of the hands of the terrorist group Hamas. More and more, Turkey has sided with some of Israel's worst enemies, regimes that have said flat out that they want to destroy Israel. Israeli politicians this week, both from the right and from the left of the political spectrum, are taking a new look at the Armenian issue. Some simply because it's the right thing to do. Others to teach Turkey a lesson. But for whatever reason, it is the right thing to do. The debate, which is being televised in Israel, has included the following statement by Reuven Rivlin, Speaker of the Knesset. He said a day or two ago, quote, "As a people and as a country, we stand and face the whole world with the highest moral demand that Holocaust denial is something human history cannot accept. Therefore, we cannot deny the tragedy of others." I wholeheartedly agree with Speaker Rivlin. As we read in the book of Deuteronomy, Tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. For centuries, Jewish commentators have asked the question, why is the word justice repeated in this verse? Certainly it would have been enough to say, justice you shall pursue. Perhaps it's this reason. Perhaps it is to remind us that we Jews must pursue justice for ourselves and to pursue justice for others as well. I hope you read this week's Torah portion, and I hope to see you again here next week. Shabbat Shalom.
أبا شمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني أبا شمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني لا دعيتك نصب الليل عينني بالباكري لا دعيتك